The content within this video is intended for educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic (EDSA) purposes only, and does not glorify or promote violence or cruelty in any form. It includes references to real-life events, including brutal methods of punishment presented within a historical, educational, and cultural context to provide insight into ancient practices, beliefs, and societal structures. Viewer discretion is advised due to the sensitive ancient historical punishment themes discussed. In a world where power was seized by manipulation, betrayal, and unyielding violence. What if history's most infamous rulers were not only men? From epic uprisings and calculated assassinations to cold-blooded intrigues behind marble courts and desert battlegrounds, these 10 women redefined what it meant to rule with terror, ruthlessness, and yes, brilliance. In our journey from ancient Mesoamerica to China, you'll learn why their stories still haunt us, and why understanding their dark legacies can reveal hidden truths about power, survival, and human nature, applicable to us today. Number 1. Our story begins with La Malinche. She was from the Mesoamerica, Aztec Empire civilization, and born around 1500 CE in what is now modern-day Veracruz, Mexico. She was born into nobility, but sold into slavery after her father's death. She became a mistress to Hernán Cortés and bore him a son. How did she rise to power? She served as an interpreter and advisor, facilitating alliances for Cortés. Her deceptive diplomacy enabled the conquest of the Aztec Empire. Here are a few of her deceptive and chilling acts. Number 1. She was betrayal of the Aztecs. She played a key role in Cortés's conquest by revealing Aztec strategies and weaknesses. Number 2. Her involvement in the capture of Moctezuma II. La Malinche played a part in the events leading to the capture and eventual death of the Aztec Emperor Moctezuma II, which destabilized the Aztec leadership and contributed to the empire's downfall. She basically orchestrated the fall of the Aztec Empire, facilitating mass slaughter. Number 3. La Malinche provided information that he then acted upon, leading to Cortés to betray and massacre indigenous leaders. Number 4. She engaged in manipulative diplomacy by convincing indigenous tribes to ally with the Spanish, leading to the downfall of her own people and her death. She possibly died in the early 1520s. Exact details are unknown. Next, number 2. Queen Tuta, the Illyrian pirate queen. Traveling westward to the rugged coasts of ancient Illyria, modern-day Albania and the Balkans, in the 3rd century BC, we meet Queen Tuta, the notorious pirate queen. Raised among seafaring people, she mastered navigation and the ruthless politics of piracy early in life. While details are sparse, legends suggest her alliances were cemented by strategic marriages that furthered her power. Coming from a dynasty known for seafaring prowess, she used familial ties to secure loyalty among her warriors. Following her husband's death, Tuta transformed piracy into state-sponsored warfare, challenging Rome's maritime supremacy. She sanctioned brutal raids along the Adriatic coast, enslaving Roman merchants and even ordering the execution of Roman envoys, a shocking act that destabilized the region and showcased her fearsome ambition. Here are a few of her ruthless and brutal acts. Number 1. Brutal raids. Tuta sanctioned ruthless pirate attacks along the Adriatic coast, capturing and enslaving Roman merchants as a display of defiance and power. Number 2. Execution of Roman envoys. In an act of stark treachery, she reportedly ordered the execution of Roman envoys, an act of treachery that shocked neighboring states and demonstrated her willingness to violate diplomatic norms to intimidate her enemies. Number 3. Calculated ambushes. Her strategic use of surprise attacks not only destabilized enemy trade routes, but also spread fear and uncertainty among her adversaries. Number 4. Brutal consolidation of power. To secure her authority after ascending to power, Queen Tuta is said to have suppressed internal dissent with unwavering brutality. She purportedly eliminated rival factions and dissenting voices within her own realm by force, ensuring that any challenge to her rule was met with a swift and ruthless response. How did she die? Her reign ended in political upheaval and possible assassination by those threatened by her ambition. Moving on to number 3, Semiramis, the legendary Assyrian empress. Enshrouded in myth, she is said to have emerged around 900 BC in the cradle of ancient Assyria, Babylon. From obscure origins, legend has it that her intelligence, charm, and ruthless ambition allowed her to rise in a male-dominated world. Allegedly married to King Ninus, her personal life is interwoven with tales of intrigue and disputed paternity. With little known about her lineage, later historians cast her as a self-made ruler who rewrote destiny with iron and blood. And her rise to power. Through cunning strategies and a fierce determination, she became the de facto ruler. Allegedly seizing power by poisoning her husband, she was renowned for grandiose construction projects and ruthless suppression of rivals. Here are a few of her chilling and terrifying acts. Number 1. Assassination plots. Legends recount that Semiramis orchestrated intricate plots to eliminate rivals, including orchestrated massacres of nobles to secure her grip on power. Number 2. Manipulative intrigue. She is said to have exploited both seduction and deceit, using charm as a weapon to turn potential foes into unwitting pawns in her schemes. Number 3. Brutal displays. Myths detail episodes where she ordered public executions to serve as a chilling reminder of her absolute authority over dissenters. So how did she die? She mysteriously disappeared from early records, leaving behind a legacy intermingled with myth and terror. Number 4. Cultivation of a divine cult of personality. Beyond sheer brute force, some legends credit her with crafting an image of divine authority. By intertwining religious rituals with her rule, she demanded ritualistic homage that elevated her to quasi-deific status. This melding of state and sacred power meant that any dissent wasn't just a political act, it was portrayed as sacrilege. By sanctifying her persona, she manipulated the cultural and spiritual life of her subjects to ensure undivided, fearful loyalty. Number 5. Merciless military conquests. Semiramis is said to have led fiercely ruthless military campaigns. In these accounts, her forces did not merely vanquish enemy armies, but laid waste to entire cities. The complete destruction of resisting urban centers and towns, where both combatants and civilians were overwhelmed by her relentless force, helped to instill a pervasive climate of fear throughout the conquered regions. Next, number 4. Turning to ancient Persia is Parysatis, the vengeful Persian queen. She was born into a noble Persian family in the 6th century BC, in the heart of the Achaemenid Empire. Groomed in a court of opulence and deadly intrigue, she learned early that power demanded sacrifice and used every tool at her disposal, from cunning diplomacy to vicious betrayals, to secure her influence. Married to King Darius II, her offsprings were pawns in her relentless pursuit of control over court politics. Emerging from an aristocratic background, she transformed familial loyalties into instruments of political manipulation. So, how did she rise to power? She swayed family loyalties into instruments of political manipulation and ordered ruthless palace purges, including the poisoning and murder of rivals, and sometimes even family members, to secure her power. Here is a summary of a few of her chilling, gruesome, and terrifying acts. Number 1. Palace Purges. Parysatis is infamous for ordering the poisoning and outright murder of high-ranking rivals, including family members, to eliminate threats to her power. Number 2. Family Betrayal. Historical anecdotes tell of her engaging in vicious intra-family conflicts, using treachery and calculated cruelty to secure her position in the royal court. Number 3. Cold-blooded assassinations. Her manipulations extended to covertly sending assassins into rival factions, ensuring that anyone who opposed her met a brutal end. Number 4. Covert assassinations. Her use of poisoning and secret plots to eliminate dissenters underscored her cold, calculated approach to consolidating power. Number 5. Ordered the skinning alive of enemies. How did she die? According to some accounts, she met her end amid a violent palace coup, leaving a legacy of vengeful ruthlessness. Next, number 5. Fredegund, the bloodthirsty queen of the Franks, Frankish kingdom. The story darkens further with Fredegund. Note, the Frankish kingdom primarily included regions of modern-day France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, and parts of Switzerland and Italy. She was born around 543 CE in the Frankish kingdom into a low-status servant background, but quickly rose through calculated acts of violence, cunning political maneuvering, and ruthlessness. Fredegund became the mistress and later wife of King Chilperic III, bearing him multiple children, including future King Clovis II. Known for eliminating rivals with chilling precision, reportedly orchestrating the assassination of her predecessor, Queen Galswintha, whom she allegedly had strangled in bed. So, how did she rise to power? Started as a servant, then killed off her rivals to become queen. She gained influence over the Frankish court through calculated assassinations and political manipulation. Here are a few of her terrifying, gruesome, and brutal acts. Number 1. She orchestrated the assassination of her husband's first wife and other political threats, including nobles, priests, and royals. Number 2. Fredegund ordered assassinations of rival queens and even had a bishop slaughtered in a church. Number 3. She personally devised bone-chilling tortures for those who opposed her, including slow poisonings and maiming. Number 4. Fredegund was accused of killing her own children to secure her power and eliminate potential threats. And her death. She died in 597 CE after securing the throne for her son, Clotaire II, leaving behind a legacy of bloodshed. Next is number 6. Tomyris, the ferocious queen of the Massagetae. She stood as a symbol of unyielding defiance. She is believed to have been born and raised in the vast steppes of Central Asia around the 6th century BC into a nomadic culture. Where survival depended on strength, Tomyris was steeped in the art of warfare from childhood, and she united her warrior tribes with an iron will. Details about her family life are sparse, yet her status was built on hereditary leadership among fierce warrior tribes. Hailing from a people famed for their martial prowess, her family legacy was defined by continuous conflict with neighboring empires. How did Tomyris rise to power? Ascending as a formidable leader, she united scattered tribes and exacted a legendary revenge on Cyrus the Great. Here is a summary of her chilling acts. Number 1. Eliminating a conqueror. Tomyris is legendary for her vengeance against Cyrus the Great. Her legendary story: she avenged her son, Spargapises, who was captured and killed by Cyrus, by leading her forces to defeat the Persian army. She allegedly beheaded him and displayed his head to demoralize his forces, as a stark warning to any who dared challenge her. Number 2. Massacre on the battlefield. Her campaigns against invading forces were marked by relentless, violent and ruthless assaults that left enemy armies in utter ruin. Number 3. Unyielding retribution. Ancient accounts suggest that she ordered the extermination of entire enemy contingents to ensure that no challenge to her rule could arise. Number 4. Ruthless treatment of the captured. In the wake of victory, Tomyris's methods went beyond battlefield carnage. Legends recount that any prisoners taken during her campaigns were not spared the brutal fate reserved for free foes. In order to serve as a stark warning to would-be traitors or challengers, the captured were subjected to swift, merciless punishments, acts designed to sow terror and discourage any future defiance against her leadership. Her death is not well documented, however. According to some historical accounts, she did not die in battle but lived on after defeating Cyrus the Great in 530 BCE. Next, number 7. Crossing continents. We have Empress Wei, the ruthless power player of Tang China. She was born in the early 7th century AD within the corridors of Tang dynasty power in ancient China. Educated in the arts of statecraft and intrigue, she quickly learned that the imperial palace was a battlefield in its own right. As the consort of Emperor Zhongzong, her influence was amplified through carefully arranged marital alliances and the grooming of heirs. Coming from an influential family, Wei harnessed both lineage and shrewd tactics to secure a dominant role in court politics. Her rise to power, leveraging palace intrigue and orchestrating the elimination of political opponents, she became infamous for her manipulative maneuvers and chilling, ruthless purges. Here is a summary of a few of her disturbing and chilling acts. Number 1. Imperial purges. Empress Wei orchestrated a series of palace purges, ruthlessly eliminating high-ranking officials and any perceived threats to her dominion through cold-blooded assassinations. Number 2. Cold calculation. Her manipulation of court politics involved secret assassinations and betrayals, ensuring that rivals were silenced before they could mobilize against her. Often through secret plots and betrayals, this cemented her notorious reputation as a formidable power player. Number 3. Brutal repression. Documented episodes of her reign include chilling orders for the public execution of dissenters, reinforcing her legacy as a cold-blooded, calculating power player. Number 4. Censorship and intellectual intimidation. Beyond physical repression, Empress Wei is said to have imposed a regime of ideological control by censoring dissenting thoughts and subversive ideas. Scholars, poets, and political critics were targeted, often through covert surveillance and public shaming, to quash any form of intellectual challenge. Such systematic persecution served to align state discourse entirely with her narrative, instilling a pervasive fear among the educated elite and ensuring that no critical ideas could circulate within the court or among the populace. How did she die? A palace coup, spearheaded by powerful rivals, erupted, and the conspirators swiftly turned on Empress Wei. Empress Wei, along with her sons and loyal supporters, was seized and executed. Historical sources indicate that she met her end through a violent execution by methods such as strangulation. Moving on is number 8. From the mystical isles of ancient Ireland comes Queen Medb, the fearless and formidable Irish monarch. Steeped in legend, she is said to have been born in ancient Connaught, Ireland, during the Iron Age. Raised in a noble tradition interwoven with myth, her early life was marked by tales of both beauty and cunning strategy. Legends recount a court filled with numerous consorts and lovers, each alliance further fueling her ambition for domination. Her storied lineage and the fierce independence of her people laid the groundwork for her notorious reputation. How did she rise to power? Infamous for initiating the epic cattle raid of Cooley, she demonstrated a ruthless resolve to challenge rival kingdoms, even if it meant waging war against established powers. Queen Medb's willingness to sacrifice entire armies and use treachery to secure her objectives makes her one of history's most controversial figures. Here is a summary of her most chilling acts. Number 1. Savage military campaigns. Medb initiated brutal military campaigns, including, as previously mentioned, the infamous cattle raid of Cooley, where entire enemy forces were ambushed and slaughtered in a bid for both wealth and prestige. Number 2. Seductive manipulation. She reportedly used scandalous tactics, leveraging personal relationships and seduction to destabilize rival kingdoms from within, manipulating key figures to maintain her dominance. Number 3. Total war tactics. Legends recount that her methods involved orchestrating mass violence and treacherous ambushes, ensuring that her reign was marked by terror and unyielding force. Number 4. Ruthless suppression of internal dissent. Beyond waging war on rival kingdoms, Medb was known to enforce her authority with an uncompromising hand at home. Legends tell of her merciless quashing of any internal rebellion or dissent among her trusted circle. Even those who questioned her decisions or allegiance were not spared, as she instituted swift and brutal punishments to deter any seeds of insurrection, ensuring her throne remained uncontested. Her death. Though the end of her reign is shrouded in myth, several possibilities have emerged over time, though none can be definitively proven. She may have been slain by rival factions or during an uprising that sought to overturn her rule. Rather than a clearly documented death, Medb simply faded from the historical record. Next is number 9, Queen Amenishaketo, the formidable Nubian ruler of Kush. Flourishing around the 1st century BC, she was born into the royal dynasty of Kush in ancient Nubia, modern-day Sudan. Immersed in a culture that prized both art and warfare, she was trained to command respect and instill fear from a young age. While historical records are limited, her reign is marked by strategic matrimonial alliances that cemented her authority in a male-dominated kingdom. Inherited from a long line of Kushite royalty, her background was one of intense political rivalry and military conflict. How did she rise to power? Ascending the throne through a mixture of cunning diplomacy and brutal suppression of dissent, she secured her place as a ruthless sovereign. Here is a summary of a few of her bone-chilling and brutal acts. Number 1. Calculated assassinations. In her bid for absolute power, she ordered the execution of potential rivals, as depicted in ancient inscriptions, as a demonstration of ruthless power. Number 2. Violent military campaigns. Her reign featured severe and violent retaliatory actions against dissenters, with documented campaigns that left enemies brutally defeated. Number 3. Symbolic retribution. Reliefs from her era portray scenes of merciless retribution, suggesting that her authority was maintained through a combination of fear and unrelenting violence. Number 4. Ruthless purges of the court nobility. Beyond eliminating external threats, Amenishaketo meticulously cleansed her inner circle by targeting high-ranking officials and nobles suspected of disloyalty. This internal purge ensured that no potential faction could gather the strength to challenge her, instilling a pervasive climate of fear even within the corridors of power. Number 5. Intimidation through public torture and display. In a further bid to solidify her reign, she reportedly ordered public acts of torture and the exhibition of subdued captives. These displays served as a cautionary spectacle, using savagery as both a punitive measure and a deterrence, ensuring that the memory of suffering would hinder any hint of insurrection. Number 6. Subjugation and economic exploitation of conquered territories. Shaketo extended her ruthlessness beyond the battlefield by instituting policies that economically oppressed conquered peoples. Harsh tributes, forced labor, and severe regulatory measures were used to crush local dissent and channel resources directly into the machinery of her empire, thereby reinforcing her grip on power through calculated economic edicts. Her death, her mysterious end, possibly by poisoning or in a violent coup or natural causes, only deepened the legend of her merciless rule. And finally, number 10, Queen Mavia, the indomitable Arab warrior queen. Hailing from the Arabian Peninsula, she is believed to have been born in the 4th century AD into a tribal society famed for its martial traditions. Immersed in a culture of honor and combat, she quickly rose as a leader among her people, learning to wield both a sword and political influence. Although details are sketchy, alliances through marriage played a role in consolidating her leadership among disparate tribes. Her background was steeped in the oral histories of desert warfare, where every familial bond was both an asset and a potential liability. How did she rise to power? Mavia united fractured Arab tribes and led a fierce revolt against the encroaching Roman Empire, employing relentless tactics and strategic brilliance that earned her legendary status. Here is a summary of her frightening and ruthless acts. Number 1. Decisive battlefield tactics. Mavia's military strategies involved orchestrating ambushes that not only decimated Roman forces, but also left her enemy ranks shattered and in disarray. Number 2. Deceptive alliances. She is noted for manipulating tribal alliances and employing treacherous strategies that pitted former allies against each other to consolidate her power. Number 3. Violent reprisals. Historical accounts describe her sanctioning ruthless counterattacks against any group daring to oppose her, cementing her reputation as a formidable, no-mercy leader. Number 4. Brutal consolidation of power. Beyond battlefield prowess, Mavia was relentless in securing her internal domain. She would swiftly purge any signs of dissent within her own ranks, silencing potential rivals with decisive and often public eliminations. This internal cleansing ensured no faction could undermine her rule, reinforcing a climate of unwavering obedience and fear. Number 5. Unforgiving treatment of the captured. In an era when some commanders offered leniency to prisoners to secure swift surrenders, Mavia's approach was ruthlessly different. Her capture protocols were as cold as her battlefield rules. Those who fell into her hands were often executed in manners designed to serve as grim exemplars. This uncompromising treatment not only extinguished any hope of insurgents from within enemy ranks, but also amplified her fearsome reputation across the lands. How did she die? Her final fate remains veiled in history, with some accounts suggesting she faded away as mysteriously as she had emerged, leaving a legacy of defiant resistance. It's essential to note that much of what we know about these 10 historic women come from historians like Herodotus, Polybius, and Appian, sources that may have had their own agendas. Modern scholarship often invites us to consider that their actions, while undoubtedly harsh, might also have been responses to the turbulent dynamics of times, civilizations, and regions grappling with power struggles and external pressures. As we traverse these grim chapters of history, the stories of the 10 women reveal that power in ancient times was often forged in the crucible of violence and treachery. Their lives, steeped in ambition, violence, ruthlessness, manipulation, and brutal retribution, offer a disturbing yet compelling glimpse into how the pursuit of power can twist even the most noble origins into legends of ruthless domination. History is often told through the lens of great kings and conquerors, but these women were just as, if not more, terrifying. From betrayal to bloodshed, their legacies are carved in violence and manipulation. Think about this. Would you have even survived under their rule? If you learned something new and found this video interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This channel covers fascinating topics like this, in addition to lesser-known ancient and historical civilizations and figures all the time. We'd love for you to join the community.